I honestly don't know how I feel about this post. This post is talking about um, Julian Lefay. I can't fucking names. Lefay uh, dying, and how he was like one of the main people behind the Elder Scrolls stuff. And you know, I get that they put this out because they have to pay some sort of respect to him. Um, and they say, simply put, without Julian, we would not be here today. And he was the leading force behind the Elder Scrolls games. And yeah, Julian Lefay. I mean, here's how I feel about it. They had to put this statement out, obviously, because it's the only right thing to do. And honestly, if someone worked there and they deserve to be honored and they were a pillar of the studio, not many studios do that. And they fire people and get rid of people, and people die all the time. And a lot of times they just kind of keep rolling over the bodies. They don't really stop to, so it's good that they did this. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not good that they did this, but keep in mind that we've had problems with these releases. Okay? We've had problems with these releases of their games, and we're trying to say, will they recover? Well, if this guy's super important, and he is, and they admit that, does that look good or does that look bad? Do we assume that he was so high up at this point and so integral that he didn't have much input on the games anymore? Well, that could explain why they went downhill. But now that he's gone, he definitely doesn't. So whether our speculation is that he had very little input because he's so high up and maybe he's like tasking it out, or he was actually essential and he was put, boots on the ground, even in the position that he held. The point is if he's gone, where does that leave Bethesda with these new titles that are coming out? And they are coming. That that show reinvigorated, and they want to do more stuff. Now, believe you me, they did Fallout. If they do an Elder Scrolls fucking show, and it's even if it is done by Amazon, even if it was done by Amazon, I'm still gonna watch it. Especially, I've seen them put $1 billion into Lord of the Rings. They better put no less than at least half that toward a Elder Scrolls show, or movie. I don't care. They lean toward shows though, so that's why I say that. But I'm saying these guys are invigorated. I think they're getting a second wind. I think personally they can come back, and I think that they're self-aware enough, especially old Todd. He is self-aware enough to read and understand what people are saying. Because if you watch his old interviews, and I know us old losers, these old fat losers that used to buy the limited edition box of Elder Scrolls games back when we were allowed to purchase physical copies and own games. I remember doing the $80 Oblivion metal box with all the cool stuff in it. I'm telling you, what came with that was a DVD of all the behind the scenes stuff of the creation of that Oblivion. And when you look at any, I'm talking about any interviews with this guy, he's very self-aware and he's very smart. And you know that by just listening to him talk and listening to formulate things and come out with stuff and talk to people in a good way, you know that he knows things. But why isn't he self-aware enough to realize that space game sucked dick? And so here we are, losing a key member, supposedly key member Are we going uphill or downhill? You know, do we assume that he was too high up and he didn't get in the trenches anymore, and this is more of a statement of his stature? Or do we assume that he was integral and this is a bad fucking time to be dying, you know? And I realize that this conversation might be a little fucking wacko, considering that there's a human that passed away and we should feel bad and we should thank him for everything he's done. But I'm saying, while there is a time for grieving, and while there is a time for feeling bad and feeling sorry for his family and really thinking about the person, it's also a time to think about where the fuck are they going as a company, dude? Because, like, we've had a lot of companies go straight into the shitter. I don't think I could, like, how many more before I just stop playing games altogether? It's like I've already retreated. I've already retreated to playing older games because these newer games that are coming out are making me want to, like, claw my own skin off. And part of me kind of just feels like I'm already doing that. It's really hard to enjoy, like, World of Warcraft. Blizzard used to be so based. Blizzard used to be based as fuck. And now look at them. They can't even make animations. They can't make anything cool, anything innovative. That it is driving me nuts. And all they want to do is turn their game into looking like fucking Fortnite, for Christ's sake. All these MMOs want to be like Fortnite or whatever, dude. All I'm saying is this. We had high fantasy. We used to have really cool shit, and all of it's being taken away. All of it's changing. And for what? You know? Who is this? Like, who's buying this shit? Who's buying this shit, and why, and how sick of it, and how bad is it going to get before it stops, and how many companies that we used to love are going to go this way? You know, because I remember, now this is going to age me a little bit, and I hope there's people out there who can sympathize with what I'm saying. Westwood Studios went under, and they were the guys behind Command & Conquer. And I knew on that day, I said, anything that comes out, if they go under, anything that comes out is no longer Westwood. And I stopped playing Command & Conquer games completely. I'll only play, like, the earlier ones before, So I'm just saying, there is that element of people like me who have principles, who spend their money on stuff that they actually want to play and not just chancing it. I look at gameplay, I look at reviews, I look at what people are saying, what friends are saying, and I make an opinion about something, and I try to say, do I really want to spend the money to go play this game and hate myself, or do I just want to play these games and actually enjoy myself? Because you could just go back and play their earlier games. Hell, they're selling Skyrim 30th edition. I don't know. You go play before they went through this mess. But again, I am sorry that this guy died, but it does make me think about the future. And I just wanted to see if there's any like-minded people out there. I know this is morbid, and I know what it is, and I get it, and I'm a shitty person, and that's fine. But at the same time, am I not bringing up stuff that has some weight, that has some value? And so this is just one of the things I've been thinking about. But hey, I want to know your opinion. If you want to talk about this, if you've got opinions about this, let me know in the comments, and I will reply to every single comment, and I will see you in the next one.